Get our copal out today. Woo! Says I'm live. Yay! So, hello everybody. Are you enjoying the Lionsgate? We are really having some amazing energies in the Lionsgate. Extremely different for me today than the last 2 days. Very intense, always good. And I was sitting over here waiting for our connection to go through, and I realized that I can use my copal again. So I had eye surgery over about 6 weeks, June and the beginning of July, and of course couldn't have them, and they're still healing, but they're getting pretty good. And I realized, oh, I could do this now. So copal, as you probably know if you're hanging out with me much, is a Mayan essence made from a tree sap, and it's extremely black and smoky and thick and protective, and guides you in the dark and removes the dark. And whether it's a physical bruise or a broken heart or a not very friendly entity, okay, get rid of your old fears and everything, and it's really good for clearing. So I got that out, and then we started to connect. So isn't that wonderful? So hi everybody. Hi Diana. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. Mwah. So I was thinking, we were together just about a month ago, last year. What a difference a year makes, huh, sweetie? So Christine says, I think I want most. So we're talking about shifting future timelines today. I'm just feeling good about this copal, so I'm going to keep it here. I haven't been able to wear makeup. I haven't been able to, do many things this summer. I've been for a walk 3 times, 3 days in a row now at sunrise for an hour on my beach, because I haven't been able to do that since July 4th. So we are going to talk about this really interesting topic, and we're going to dive right in here in a second. I want to make sure that you go and check out the Lionsgate celebration and ritual that we did yesterday. I really recommend it. We rearranged the altar and have left the altar that way to be the Sphinx, the heart of the Sphinx right here where Isis is. We have the flower of life behind her, the sphere. If you're one of my students, you know all about that being our big thing. And then coming down, these are the paws of the Sphinx and all the different energies that it's channeling through the pyramid here, which asked for all kinds of things to be inside of it, different crystals and different beings. Here's dragons, prosperity frogs, jade and eggs and hearts and gold and more obsidian. And then Callie jumped in. So if anybody's familiar with Callie, she's used to scare the crap out of me. And then I finally embraced her during my divorce, or when I needed to ask for a separation, and then the divorce. And she comes in with all of her arms and all of her knives and just goes, "You want to be free?" Like a ninja. And so she has to come in at some point yesterday during our ceremony. We have the jaguar and Bass, the cat here, of course, representing our lion energy. And we had sun dragons, sun dragons come in. These are different than fire dragons. So that was very cool. Our guardians were the Sphinx. We went to the Sphinx. We went and stood connected to her heart, her heartbeat, as she was drawing down from the cosmic sky energies, drawing up from the earth energies, connecting us into the pyramids, where Sirius, the planet, was connecting through the shaft in the Queen's chamber, and Isis came. She's a serious girl. And so we have all that energy still here with us today. So what a perfect time to talk about shifting timelines. So I asked you while we were waiting and chatting on the chat here, good afternoon. Somebody said, I'm so excited. And hi, Calvin, and hi, Christine. I just want to catch up with Marnie. Hi, Marnie, and Diana. And so I asked you, what do you most want to know around timeline shifting? It's fun because we have a word we can use now that many people understand, because I've been doing this and talking about this for 30 some years now. Well, it's hard to know. I would say at least 33 to 35 years. And then there was about 3 years when I was on my search, but I certainly wasn't teaching it yet. And then, however, the idea that we can conceive now without it just being like, yeah, that's ridiculous, and being in our dense mind that we're evolving out of, is that there's all these possibilities exist at once. That means every life you've had, if you perceive it in the past, let's say linear time, it happened in medieval times, a big one for us. 1212, everybody. Woo, woo, let's have a little angel dance. Woo, yeah. So as you know, if you've coming in here, you're entering into the Infinity Healing Chamber, which I've already created. And so let's just go ahead and take in 1212 energy. 1212 energy. Beautiful. So these are called angel numbers. However, they're not necessarily an angel thing. I think it's become an angel thing, but there's other energies and there's other energies that come through these numbers. So what does 12 mean to you? What do 2 12s look like to you? How does the 1 and the 2 interact together? To me, it is 1 and the other, but the other being you joined. So it would be like you and your lover, your partner is the 2, and 1 + 2 = 3. And now you have the Trinity, and there's many, many energies around that. And then you have a pyramid. And so there's energy that I see, energy I perceive, energy that I hear, energy that speaks to me, or I have a knowing, or I have a memory come through. So intuition wise, these energies like 1212 speak to us, but they're talking on a lot of levels. And okay, we've had enough copal, definitely. I got the whiff of that right there. That whew, we are super, super cleansed. And so be aware that the energies are speaking to you in many different languages always. And just because you only speak English, right? Or you speak English and a little Spanish type of thing, right? If you think of it just as language, the way we are familiar with Earth language, really is more human language, right? Is the idea that it's a code that you have to break. You know, I live in Mexico, and after 9 years, I understand Spanish almost, I would say 95 to 99% of the time. I understand everything. If I don't understand a word, I've been doing medical stuff in Spanish. I've been doing legal stuff in Spanish. You know, like I'm really there. Now, whether I can speak it or I know all the vocabulary or say it in the right grammar, like tense. That's it, tense, right? But that's okay. So but to me, the decoding had to happen while I lived here. I've taken Spanish lessons a lot of different times in this life. I'm sure I spoke Spanish in a lot of other lives. So what if you wanted to learn Spanish and you just said, okay, what part of me already knows how to speak Spanish? And okay, let's get together. And everything exists right now. So that part of you exists right now. And that part of you is here and it can be accessed. However, if you don't understand and you're not developing and you're not healing and you're not allowing and seeing what vows and contracts and beliefs and fears and mindsets and all this stuff, energy that's living somewhere in your body, light body, okay, all these layers of your body. You have an emotional body, you have a mental body, you have an auric field, which is physical etheric. You have your body, your physical body. Then you have chakras that intersect, and you have pillar of light, and you have all these other light body structures, right, Diana? So the cool thing is they can perceive and sense energies. They can speak different languages, and they can open time and space. So time and space and time. And we're not going to get too deep into the quantum physics of it, but it is one of the things I like as well, is the science. I always did. And then when I studied with Thoth and my first 5 mystery school levels and Egyptian. And then he put me onto the emerald tablets, which I had to sleep on and read and reinterpret and live and embody. And it's still, wow. But it's a sacred geometry. And it's speaking the universal laws. It's speaking the language of the universe. We might call it our heart language, but what we perceive as our heart is full of ideas that we think belong in the heart, when the heart is actually a vortex. I was shown the true light structure. I'm just realizing this. I mean, I remember it, but I'm realizing what it really was. I've been doing 4 to 6 to 12 hours of meditation type of energies of journeying and soul journeying and deep work, but not reading and writing, which I do mostly writing. That too, but this is outside of that because I've had so much healing time this summer. I can't go outside. Couldn't go outside. So I have discovered I'm layering different types of meditations. So I might take one from my mastermind where it's it's your dream weaver. It's your daily dream weaver if you want to do it daily or how often you want to do it. And it's an activation and a cleanse that then takes you intentionally into, let's see your dream, let's build your dream. And now one of those things is I want to do is I started to realize, well, we want to be able to pick our future. We want to say, I don't want any more of that feeling, any more of this kind of relationship, any more of this physical problem. I'm done with this. I'm ready for this, this, and this. I want more clarity. I want more flow. I want more energy. I want to feel at peace every day. I want to just walk with oneness in my land and know that the air is touching me and speaking to me, and that everything is talking in language that I have activated, cleansed, and aligned my body to be always in the state of what is optimal for me at this time. That means my highest good, my highest empowerment, my highest. So I'm not limiting it by saying, well, don't go too fast, or, I wish it was going faster. I get rid of all the judgment. And the more I do that is I'm surrendering to the idea that if I ask for what is optimal for my highest good at this time, not just in general in the universe, okay? Because you can go to different times and you can go to different spaces. And we believe in space-time. That's what we're conditioned with. And what that means is I'm here and Diana's in Toronto and I want to hug Diana. So I go in my head, okay, well, that's going to take time and money to find a way. She comes halfway, she comes here, I go there, whatever, right? So there's space that has to be crossed, and it takes time to do that. And then there's the other human part of it that's like, well, then it costs money, or I have to have someone watch my dog, or, all that kind of thing. So time, space, and this is a whole quantum physicist, Einstein kind of thing that's being proved over and over now. And then we have epigenetics, which is cellular, biological proof now in scientific ways. Science is just technology we've invented to actually see shit that everybody in the sacred world has known for 10 million years. And yet we were, at one point in our history, you have to remember how vehemently science and religion were kept apart. They made an agreement. Okay, I'll try not to control you if you don't control me. And this is what birthed the Renaissance. However, you stay out of religion and don't try to save people's souls, and don't talk about anything to do with that. That is our venue. That's the church. Okay. And then the scientists said, okay, fine, but you don't throw us in jail when we decide that the earth is round. Okay. Like, we want to be able to create and do art. And Leonardo da Vinci was the instigator of this, and he created the possibility for the Renaissance. So he changed the timeline. He literally took the earth in a new direction. Now, there was 80 bazillion, who knows, we're just going to say an infinite number of other possibilities. And maybe the way you remember it is different, or maybe the people that lived there who were on the other side of the planet felt it differently, or the people who were in the elite classes and had wealth felt that transformation differently than the people who were the farmers. And, so perception is everything. Who you are, where you are. Well, that's why you create your own reality. And the whole point of everything I do is to constantly say, well, what's underneath that? Is there an easier way? Is there a faster way? Does it have to be that way? Show me what's behind that. Show me what's underneath that. And I go on my own search, and I'm always falling off a cliff and diving into a vortex and going through a hurricane. I'm talking energetically, right, as a transformation. And this evolutionary time right now is so fast and so intense that it's causing overwhelm and stress for people who are trying to hold on. But if you can learn to let go of that. So what if you could hear all your languages? What if you could call on a different time and place when you spoke a particular language, or you knew how you were a nurse, or you knew how to heal someone with herbs, or you went to a sacred school or a mystery school, or you were an engineer, or you were a gardener, or, you were the king, and you want now. What's optimal for your soul right now is for you to feed from that, to receive wisdom from that part of you, because everything has already happened. However, if there's of infinite, let's pick a number. I'm going to say 8 million. If there's 8 million opportunities sitting in front of you, 8 million paths, not like a crossroads, right? Not even like an étoile, like a star, like many, many paths. there's 8 million paths just in front of you. There's another 8 million behind you and above you and everywhere else. But let's just stay right here. And so how you experience what's happening right now, how you create, live and experience your reality as it unfolds the next day, week, month, years. Okay. Right now, you're in a point where you could change really fast, manifest at the speed of light, shift anything in your reality, literally step out of it and into something else. Like scientists, they only know what they've been able to perceive now from their limited technology. And every time we have a technological advancement, they go, wow, look, now we can see that there's, energy. You have an auric field. Oh my gosh. Right? All right. It's 1222 now. So we just got another. I don't often look at the clock. So when I do, it's interesting and significant. Thank you. We got more twos this time instead of 1212. We duplicated something right there. Isn't that interesting? So we were at 1212 and now we're at 1222. So we've passed a little bit of time. How long did that feel to you? How long did that time, 10 minutes or whatever it was, feel to you? You know how it can feel like it's a long time and it could feel like it barely took any time. So it feels like we've been together forever and yet we just met yesterday, especially when you have a loved one, right? A really awesome loved one. And so the idea of time being flipped over. So think about time and then space, and that time is a concept that is mutable. And so you have time. And if you perceive it like linear time, which is what we agree on and we speak in when we make a calendar appointment, when I tell you I'm going to be here at this time to do the show, we all know what that means because we're talking about a structure we've agreed on. We've talked about a calendar we've agreed on. So we can find a meeting point. It's a GPS system. It isn't a system that is telling you the truth about anything, right? So, however, if you put time first and you say, well, time is infinite because time's a concept and I'm a creator being. And if I'm thinking and feeling a certain way, that's what I'm radiating. And if I've been thinking a certain way for a long, long time, that's the primary energy that's making up my reality. So if I've been judging people for a really long time, if I've been angry for a really long time, if I've been full of grief, which is a low state, as we all know, it's painful. However, it's full of regret and some other really unpleasant aspects. And so grief is something you want to embody with compassion, which is acceptance. And then you really don't stay in grief. You stay in process, right? Processing what happened, who you are now. What do you do with it? Some things are closing. It's ending a cycle and beginning to become nothing and then getting ready to start a cycle. And so it's a different thing. But I don't believe we're meant to wallow or stay in the grief and perceive it in this tragic way. I think that we're meant to move into a different place in time in relationship to that person. So they were here, you could touch them, you could hold them, you could kiss them. You know who's here, Diana. Hi, sweetie. He's tall. Wow. I don't remember you being this tall. Talking to Diana's husband. I haven't seen him in a while. And so when we... That's very fun. He likes this topic. Diana can say Diana has not have not missed a day in, but what is it, 3-5 years now or so since she did the Light Body School, not missed a single day of activating her light body. And honestly, she could be a 3-hour testimony of everything that she's helped her family through. She's processed herself. So if all these timelines are possible and they're sitting in front of you, let's just say, for example, I'm going to meet you at 5:00 on Friday. And so we've put this pin in time, space, time, boink. Now you're moving towards that place. And let's say for you, how you get there and how the other person you're meeting is going to get there is going to be different. Maybe you drive a different route. Maybe someone takes a train or a bus and you take a car or a bike or you walk. Okay. And then, what happened during your day changed your pathway. So you're not like this walking the same path towards that point in time. That's a meeting point. What do you want to meet? Do you want to meet yourself in 3 days? Do you want to meet yourself? If a lot of people are looking at manifesting the Avalon retreat, please do. And and talk to me soon. So what you want to do is see yourself there. Okay. And often the best thing is the end result. And the end result of that retreat is you being on the plane on the way home. A lot of people don't think of that. So if you're manifesting a future that you want, you have to feel it. You have to decide what it would be like as much as you can. You can leave a lot of this to self, to higher self, to energies all around you. And you can, I don't know if that was my cat or what. And then you can, I'm not sure she's here. I think some spirit was rubbing on my leg. Oh, okay. It's Balam. It's thank you, honey. It's our Black Star Jaguar. And wow, I felt just like my cat. I'm like, she's not here. So so you have the point in the future, and like a map. Okay, any map you have, let's say at a mall, you go look at a map. Where am I? And where's the store I want to go to? Where's the restaurant I want to go to? Okay, here to here, and that's how I navigate it. Well, if you know where you are, but you don't know where you're going, how are you going to use that map? It's going to be useless to you. It's like a language you can't speak. So if everything is speaking at multiple levels, that means your future self is speaking at multiple levels too. And every one of those 8 million, and remember, that's just a tiny part of the infinite number of possibilities that you could create. Now, will you change a timeline completely? I'll go from being, 50 years old to 25 years old. Well, I don't know a lot of people who do that. However, if you're that level of mastery, go for it. Okay. I'm not saying it's impossible, because it isn't. You can literally uncreate and create something in 1 second or less. You could go back in time. You can go forward in time. All of these things are fluid. It's just like they used to tell us that our DNA was set and you were screwed. Okay. You're going to die of this disease because your family got it or something. Not true. I've been yelling it's not true for a long time. Finally, now they do have the science that proves it's not true, and that you can reprogram your DNA, which I also learned a long time ago in my mystery schools, and 100% is true. However, there's still a lot of people who believe that your DNA is set in stone. So your DNA is radiating a certain energy right now. What if there's a part of you in the past that wants to know how to get out of a really difficult situation, and you're older, or that was a couple of years ago or something, right? So you've changed, and you can look back at that point in time and you can say, wow, that was a really difficult time, but look at who I am now. Look how strong I am. I'm so glad that happened. This and this came out of it. Oh, that was difficult. However, it showed me how strong I am. I learned tools. I found my fairy goddess mother, right? Whatever. So there's always, for me, I'm incredibly humbled and grateful for big ass breakdowns. Okay. Big spiritual challenges and transformations that come in the form of who knows what, making money, losing money, finding love, losing love, someone dying, whatever it is. Okay. So on the way we go, I want to create what I want to create. And so the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp is starting tomorrow. I highly recommend that you check it out and come and join us. We've left the sale up till Monday, so people can jump in. And we're going to shift timelines, and we're going to understand what trauma really is and turn it into a doorway. Learn how to see and sense density in a lot of different ways. That's another language, like I'm speaking of. There's all these languages that are coming. A dolphin has one sound. Okay. And then if you took that and put it in a computer program, and you started to see all the ingredients, it's just like 10,000 ingredients in one sound. And we can decipher 3. We used to never be able to decipher any. Now they can take it and run it through and actually project an image of what they were scanning. How they have echolocation or whatever, and they scan something, and there's healing things going out. And I see some of the energies that they do with us when we're there on retreat. And so I can see that they're sending energies in different ways to different parts of your body, maybe working with the dolphin next to you. Okay. Moving energies. And so maybe there was a time that you worked with dolphins in the past or in the future. Maybe you came on a retreat that I did and you want to go back to that cave or to that ceremony or to that moment when you felt free, or the moment that the dolphin meditation happened, or this last time we got to be with Perseus, the baby dolphin I met over a year ago. We got to pet him in December. And this time we were told we were going to possibly get to hug him, which is kind of a big deal for a young dolphin. And I mean, no, not hug him, to like touch his body versus just pat his head, touch his body. And I was like, yeah, let's do it, whatever. And she said, well, the dolphins always like to kiss you. So if he wants to kiss you, that's okay. But so far, he's only kissed the trainer. Like, he's not being trained or anything, or showed how to love on people with kisses and stuff like that yet. And what happened was stunning, because I'm so connected to this dolphin that started to channel through me last year. And we got there and I was so excited. I was like, oh, so it was like, oh, here he is. He was letting us touch him, his body, and he kept turning around and looking at me. And finally it was like, okay, who wants to, pat or hold or whatever we were going to get to do with him. And I was a little bit away, and one lady at the retreat started to go up. And normally I don't need to be first, that's for sure. However, well, no, wait a minute, this is my baby. If he's going to do something first, it's to me. And I got his first kiss outside of his trainer, and he kissed everybody, hug. And I think we got a hug. I don't know. It was amazing. So let's say I want to go back to that moment, and I want to stand in that space, and I want to communicate with Perseus. That is going in time. Now you could say, oh, well, I'm remembering, or I can feel the feeling again. I want you to make it more and more real. And so you could go to different times in your life that were happy when you need happiness, that were healing when you had relief, or maybe when you were still with someone you love and you want to just hang out, and you just do that. And so this is possible. We can visit ourselves. We can also feel the radiation from our future selves, who are wise and are already living the life we want to live. So when it comes to manifesting the retreat, you have to go there. And so again, for an example, seeing yourself on the plane on the way home, you skip, how do I get there? You skip the how, the beginning and the end, and beginning and the end. There's the beginning and the end. You generate the idea, and then you go on the adventure. Okay. And then you come back again. And the in-between is the magic and the mystery and the miracles that you have to step out of your comfort zone and get onto it to make it happen. So you have to do an inside out manifesting. So a lot of the principles that we've been taught are very true. You have to feel it more than you ever thought you had to feel it. In fact, you have to leave yourself and who you are. I call it lose yourself. I've been doing some meditations for some the mastermind classes called Lose Yourself. You have to go out into infinite space and just be there, be nothing, and then be everything, and to oneness, and become that wave of energy that then you embody. And from there, your desire can move through you into form. So these are things I'm going to teach you in the Intuition Awakened Summer Camp. And we're going to practice with the timelines. So the next thing to think about with timelines is, well, what do you want and what would you shift? So there's movies, right? That somehow someone has a time machine, or they learn how to actually take themselves into different times. So if you were doing that, where would you go? Who would you want to talk to? Would you want to go have dinner with Gandhi? Well, maybe not dinner. Like there's people I would love to sit and have dinner with with Joseph Campbell. I think he's utterly fascinating. I would just download his brilliance. Would you go back and want to have, a sumptuous spa afternoon with Cleopatra? Would you like to go back when you were a priestess of Athena or Isis and be under the full moon with your sisters, feeling the energies, being the oracle? Do you want to feel something from your past that's going to give you the solutions, power, clarity, and energy for something you want to manifest now? So wow, thank you. I'm just getting that. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so the prosperity grandmothers, dream weaving grandmothers that came through last year, and the oracle cards. And then in January, we did the prosperity magic class. And next I'm doing a live prosperity magic 2-day event in Glastonbury. And it's different than the big retreat. However, if you're interested and you're coming to the retreat, it's a couple days before. So let me know if you're interested. And they came and they basically brought us all the principles. They created the temple. They did the healings with us. And they are infinite grandmothers that live in timelessness. And so they say we're ageless, timeless. I am going to find them for you. There we go. They're timeless and ageless. And even though they look old, because they were sitting on this pyramid of the Venus here when I first encountered them, almost a year ago. And they are watchers. Since then, I've found out there's other people who see or know about realms that are watchers, or some people call them angels. And so to me, this is what they came and they said, we're here and we're weaving. Okay, we're doing our infinity weaving with all of the rays of creation, with all of the full color spectrum. And time and space are nothing. We're timeless. We don't worry about that. You want to go here in time, fine. You want to go there in time, fine. Open a portal, open a door. How would you like to do it? Would you like to be there? Would you like to slowly enter your body? Do you want to go there through a portal in time and space? All of these things are really up to what is optimal for you. And then when you get communicating with the right guides, they take you to these places. And then the more you surrender and activate and accept that this is you and you are this, and you keep activating your intuitive senses like we're going to be doing in the intuition school, then you start to communicate better. So the longer I was here, the better Spanish I understood and speak, and the more vocabulary I learned. And that's why you must be constantly communicating, constantly upgrading your intuitive skills, constantly on this path. And so these are the most loving guides. They're not even stern. They're just like a little bit emotionless, but pure acceptance, just accepting, not judging one way or the other. Would never tell you, you need to stop seeing that guy. You should stop eating this and whatever. Like, how about we create this for you, honey, because you really don't want that. And you're trying to make that happen. But I can see, that in the future, there's no good timelines where that's going. So what if you just let that go? They don't do that. They're pure divine energy, which means they just watch, and they are pure love. So of course they love you, but they're not going to decide for you. And that's where we've been confused about love. This is another concept we're going to talk about. I have to go back onto the timelines. Okay. So something you can do is tune into guides that might be there optimally for you when you want to talk about time travel or time bending or time crunching or shifting future timelines or even past timelines. So all these things are possible. It's possible this might birth into its own class next year. I don't know. I'm seeing bigger and bigger energies coming out, connecting us to the different concepts of time. The biggest thing is that mostly right now you want to manifest something. So how do you manifest something? You must become it. And you must decide it, okay? And again, you may just be like, I just want to feel peace and safe. You don't have to say, oh, I want to be with this person who looks like this in this house, making this much money, doing this job with these shoes, okay? You can let the details fill in and you can get concepts. And as you put that out there and you embody it and you go into these states, losing yourself, becoming no self, becoming no time. These are ancient mystery school concepts. We've been doing no time and learned and embodied the Mayan calendar actually before I even understood it or lived here, and for a long time. And then it becomes like I'm so used to having these other parts of me connected or walking alongside me or guides walking alongside me that it becomes something where time is, I'm in a linear time. However, nothing else is. And I'm only in it because I'm focused on it. So like every other manifestation, you remove your focus, you remove your energy, you remove your intention, you remove your wanting, your craving, your attachment to something. You have to remove wanting someone to say they're sorry, remove wanting someone's approval, remove wanting the money to show up before you decide, remove whatever it is you've put between you and what you would like the most. And so if it's as just something where you're like, I know I want to feel peace, or I want to feel safe, or I want to feel supported. Okay. And you don't even get into the details of how that would look and who needs to do it, because then you're actually limiting it. So you start with the feeling or the emotion and then any level. So if you want to be at the retreat, see yourself on the plane on the way back and then work backwards from there because you're talking to her. There is one of these million pathways in front of you, or many of them. You are at that retreat already. It's already happened. So there's a bunch of yous that know how they got there. Wouldn't they be the best guide you could possibly imagine? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be diving into sensing the density in the field and how they have different qualities to find both the trauma and then therefore the soul contracts and vows and the density in the future timelines that are branching from you right now. Okay, so this is one of my one of my oracle cards, and so they say timeless because it's a mutable thing, like everything else to them. It's like water. Okay, well, let's just go over here. Let's pull that together. Let's let go of this. Let's dry this up. Let's pour some in. Let's cleanse with water. Let's birth with water. Let's rejuvenate with water, right? Let's give life with water. So every element works with you. You have an infinite number of lifetimes that have had experience doing, being, losing, winning, happy, how to heal it, how to, stand your ground, how to speak up, whatever is the perceived block or problem, hidden or not, whatever is the perceived desire or goal, hidden or not. These are there so that you read the language of your heart, and you may say, oh, I really want that. And you start going towards that and you go, I really don't want that. But it's only because you started going towards it that you figured out now you are not really, that isn't the right path. But the good thing is that you had to leave where you were. If you just sat there going, well, when it happens and comes and gets me. So don't say you want to do something and then say, oh, well, I'm waiting for the prosperity to show up. Or, oh, well, when the fairies, they're happy to, but you don't believe it because you're basically saying, no, and you're lying to yourself. So doesn't matter to me if you go on my retreat or do anything else. However, if you have that desire and you decide not to pursue it, because there is a path, there is a way, there is many of you that have these, sorry, I just saw this thing. Many of you who have these desires that you want, and they get in the way of what's really calling for you. However, you have to leave your comfort zone of waiting and go towards that first desire or that first idea. I just got to get to the beach. Boom, go to the beach. Oh, this feels good. This feels good. Oh, you run into somebody. They introduce you to somebody. Oh, you come back. You feel healed. You found a sacred thing. You had an amazing meditation. I don't know, right? You had to get into flow in order to interact with something. So every timeline has healing, has harm, has potential, has whatever. Some are more optimal for you, and some are more aligned to juicy, delicious ways of something happening that are way better than anything you could think up. So that's why we just put into the end result a few of those qualities, a few of those ingredients, okay? And we put those in there, and then you want to be like the grandmothers, right? You just start moving energy and time and space and full color spectrum and symbols, and start talking to the energies that you've worked with. And now you say, I would like to connect, okay, to the most optimal future me. That is, and then say what it is. So that is, that has just completed the Avalon retreat in October 2024 with Akasha. And you start to imagine her, okay? Maybe you go, after you say, I'm on the plane home, oh I'm going to be just blissed out. I'm going to be so happy. What am I going to do? I'm going to just drift and dream and think and remember and look at my pictures, and I'm going to notice how different I feel and how I see energy, and how my guides are here, and how I no longer have a fear of death, and how, Merlin and Morgan Le Fay came to me out of the White Springs and did this amazing healing, and how I spoke to the, starseed people that I don't know. These are the kinds of things that happen at the retreats, okay? You healed your body, you did this, something else happened. You got clear on what you want to do. You made $1 million while you were away, whatever. Okay. And so you just start to go into, oh, that feels, and then see and feel yourself on the plane. Now back up, go to the night before. If you're flying home the next day, you're going to the night before when we're having our celebration dinner. Okay. Now I've already have booked it at this place called the Queen of Cups. So it's all about love, and it's all about divine feminine energy. And it's this Mediterranean place that's going to bring everybody the Queen's platter. And it's just every food they make and everybody sharing, and all this amazing Mediterranean food. So you could go there and you could imagine having that feast. Right? And you're feeding yourself feelings and images. You're thinking. Now you start saying, well, what would I say? What would I think? I would be saying, oh, it was so wonderful to meet you. You're my new best friend. Make sure we stay in touch. And you're hugging the people there. And you're saying to me, this was incredible. I'm so happy we were together. And I'm telling you the same thing. Like, what are the words? And what are the thoughts that are forming from that? And what are your beliefs? And what are you going to decide? And how are you going to speak up? And you can start to see projecting the future again from there. So this is another timeline tool. Wow, you're right. We we do have a lot of them, where you go from, instead of projecting from here, I would like this timeline, which one is it? I want to perceive this timeline's looking really dense, and dense means it's becoming form. Okay, it's going from frequency and particle and wave potential, pure potential. It's taking form. It's becoming more and more particles. And the more dense it is, the more likely that is what you're going to experience. And most people are moving step by step, day by day, thought by thought, feeling by feeling, towards the future they don't want. I don't want any more of this, but I'm thinking about this because I don't want it. I'm still mad at that person. I'm waiting for them to say they're sorry. And otherwise, I'm just going to drag this with me and be miserable and depressed. And whatever it is. So this is why the only person that benefits when you heal yourself is you. And then it goes out into the world. But the benefit has to be to you first. It has to be to free you from these low states and beliefs that anything that's happened in the past. So of course, you can use this to go to the past as well. But the density tool we're going to learn in the Intuition Awakening School is that seeing, sensing density in the different aspects of the light body. So is a tool that allows you, who is that? Somebody's talking. Wow. It's one of the oracle cards. I'm going to look in a minute. Is interesting. Oh, of course it's you. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. These are entities that I called in a circle. I did ritual and magic and things a little over a year, a little less than a year ago, to call in a group of sacred divine feminine energies that were guides and archetypes, goddesses, or whatever label we want to give them. And then once I defined it, they started to come. And then I started to describe it to Chris. And then he just started making the art. And then I'd go back and forth with him. And then I would have Donna add the flower of life and different things. And then I would talk to them. And then they told me who they were. Okay. And so this one came, and she's the Divine Time Traveler. So of course she should be here. Thank you so much, sweetie. I'm so glad. And so she's representing portal openings, that time is your doorway, and your Merkaba. And we're going to add a little more words to that. I'm getting more downloads now to complete this deck. So the timeline, this is wonderful. You can see yourself like this, has a density, and density means you're manifesting it to appear in your life. And manifestation means to appear to your eye or your senses. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you can't see what I'm doing. I don't think you can. Oh, that's funny. Okay, here we go. I'll share a screen. Ta-da. All right. There we go. So this is the Divine Time Traveler. And so what we do is, when you learn to sense things as density, you're getting out of your mind of labels, and you're not going, well, what's blocking me? What's my fear? What's the curse? Who gave it to me? Why is it there? It's been so hard. I don't know where it is, because the emotion is attached to it. What I want you to do is cleanse and clear and get out of the emotional field. Okay. And just let it be there doing its cleanse. You step out to clarity. Okay. And then I want you to cleanse and clear the mind from the chatter and the poor girl and the fear and the wondering, because when it's in the future, grasping for something or worrying about something, it's not here in the present moment. And when it's in the past, judging something or wishing something was different or stuck in an emotion or whatever in the past, then it's not in the present moment. And so what the grandmothers told us, number one, was if you want prosperity, you must be in the present moment, because nothing exists outside of the present moment. And the only power you have to manifest anything into form exists in the present moment. So your present moment awareness, your present moment condition, feeling, thought, beliefs, actions, words is creating the field, which is then creating what will be there when you get there in the next minute, in the next day. It's creating that reality around you, that movie that you are walking through in a linear time way, probably. So start playing with time and space. You can move in and out. Now, the density is fun because this is a sensory thing. If you can sense density, like how? You know, do you see it like little sparkles that get denser and denser? Or do you see it like water boiling that at first is just sitting and not moving fast, and then it goes faster, faster, and now boil and bubbles and all these stuff's coming? How are you perceiving density? So we're going to awaken your senses by working with this. And then we're going to say, okay, now tune in. I'm going to show you the basic light body structures that you can tune into and some of the guides that you can work with. And then you're going to say, okay, if I look at my heart center, if I look at my womb, my sacral, very important place to look right now. If I look at my eye, my third eye, I'm blocked, or my crown, or if I look at my auric field or my emotional field, right? And I sense, or I just sense myself all as a whole. And then you're going to practice doing this for other people, because getting that feedback is going to blow your mind. Okay. And you're going to be asking, I'm going to line you up to be exactly in alignment with whatever senses are ready for you to receive and perceive. And that may be a sense you've never experienced before. So that's why it's really important to be in this container with me, because we open infinite possibilities, infinite timelines, and you get to realize that you don't have to work towards it, be worthy of it, fix the past, fix the future, to pick the timeline that's optimal. And you don't have to know what it is. You have to give some direction of where everything wants to go. And you can also say, whatever's optimal for me. And so, however, when you get into that space where you realize, okay, all of this is available to me, I don't need to know how. I'm going to get more present, and I'm going to be more listening, and I'm going to hear deeper senses and understand deeper languages, all the languages we're talking about, all these energy languages, light languages, frequencies, harmonizing. Frequency energy medicine has been my passion, going deeper and deeper and deeper to all of this for millions of years now. So then that density is going to speak to you, and you're going to start to be like, oh, when I was learning Spanish, I recognize that word. What was that word? What was that word? And you start hearing it stand out from the rest of it that sounds like a blur. So if the intuitive language is coming to you from the crystals, from the gods, the goddesses, the air, the moon, the sky, the waters, the building that you're in, right? Your grandmother who's sitting here with you, all of these things, okay? If they're all there, either talking to you, sending you energy intentionally in the moment, or just available if it's optimal for you, then there's a lot of energy to understand, receive, a lot of messages. It's like getting a whole bunch of emails, but you didn't even know that it was all going into this one folder. So you didn't even know it was there. So you can tune into one or any of those, and then you're going to start to recognize it. I felt that before. Last time, that density meant that I'm seeing like a very kind of pukey green yellow color, and it's making somebody sick. It's somebody here right now, and it's in your left side, right between your heart and your hip, in your auric field, and you kind of have your elbow laying in it. And it's sort of a sticky, icky, nausea kind of thing, and energy, and sticky, icky, thicky, okay, gooey, sticking to you, almost translucent. These are the things that we learn more of. Everybody will learn, no matter how long you've been doing it or not doing it. You are going to go from a quantum leap from wherever you are. And so when you understand and pay attention to the way it looks, the way it feels, the way, you're going to get better at seeing, thinking, and then you're going to get better at projecting into that reality that you want. And you're going to one day suddenly see yourself on that plane coming back from the retreat, or at that celebration dinner, or in the White Springs when we have our private ceremony and our rebirthing goddess ceremony on the last day, or one of these epic experiences that we're going to have. And you just really pick it. You go to the website and you read the Wand Day, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see it, I can feel it. Or you go to here on YouTube and you subscribe and get notifications. However, you go to the playlist for Avalon and you start listening to those of channeled messages and healings with Merlin and the Lady of the Lake, and all of these different energies, and going through the mists into Avalon that will take you there and will communicate you with you that's already there, and to the land, or to the dragon energies, or to the Mother and Mary currents. The Mary and Michael currents, or whatever are the specific energies that are calling you. And they're all calling you, but some of them, you speak their language, they're ancient friends, they're calling you because it's going to be the healing that you need the most. And that's the way most people feel who are called on this. So all of the things that can be done with the concept of time is to break you free from a limitation of thinking it's going to take a long time. Nothing is going to take a long time, and it could take a long time. So I'm going to give you, thank you, sweetie. I'm so glad you spoke up, talking to our divine time traveler there. I totally spaced that one. So Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that. So I'm going to show you a couple examples real quick about how this is fascinating. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, it's fascinating to think about. And now I feel infinite possibilities bubbling to the surface, something we've already discussed on the plane ride home from your Avalon retreat. Exactly. So Lisa's one of the ones in that manifestation flow right now. Now, with anything that you want, you do that. You pick the having moment. So it could be something less time oriented. It could be just like, I don't know. Right now, I would say in a year from now, I'm going to be done healing from this, and I should be stronger again, and I will have been doing, my yoga and my walks again, and then I'll be feeling this, and I'm ready for this to manifest in my life, and maybe this is happening, and I just say, okay, and I'm going to project myself to 6 months or 12 months from now for a more overall reason. Okay, so there can be, I want to see myself I was so caught up in certain aspects of getting my eye surgeries planned and set up and scheduled and organized that I kind of got out of the visualization, the being in there with the perfect eyes afterwards. And a friend of mine reminded me, she goes, are you remembering, to be talking to your eyes and then telling them how you want them to end up? Because I was doing everything else from picking the days astrologically and the time and everything. Just perfectly. And I was like, yes, that's right. You have to be the one telling your eyes after this surgery, right? Telling yourself after this exam, after this summer period, after this next job interview, where are you going next? What are the portals you know of? What are the portals you don't know? So just go to the time just after that. On the way home from the exam, on the way home from the big proposal dinner, on the way home from your job interview, on the way home from your first good conversation with your mother in a long time, whatever it is, you can be using this all the time to go through time and space. The ancient Mayans walked in many worlds, especially with time and space. They understood cycles within cycles that intersected, and spiritual sacred cycles with mundane, the sun going down and up cycles and all of this. So that idea is pliable, and you're going to increase your senses to be able to say, oh, I remember that felt gooey. Well, that was immediately, whoever's that was, I'm not saying, that immediately tells you a lot. Okay. If that's a density you're carrying, and what my vision was is it's stuck to the person. It's like right here. Sometimes you might see it floating here or blocking the heart, but it's not on top or in the body, or sometimes it's deep in the body. So you can perceive density through multiple layers of light energy. You're not going to see, who wants to be an example here? I think that's a great idea. Isis. Okay. So this is a pretty heavy stone of a decent size. Okay. And so you can't see my face through this. And now you could practice seeing my face through this. And you keep staring ahead, and you go from seeing her hair and her ear, her profile, the uraeus, the beautiful sacred serpent here, showing her. She projects her reality in her opened eye. Right? And now just imagine that you're seeing through it. She's becoming transparent, and you're seeing my face. There's my face. Focus on my face. Okay, now look through the material again and place that image of my face right there on the other side. Hold the intention that you're seeing all the way through to me, and you see that image already, and you imagine it. Okay, so there's these different ways of seeing through time and space and density. And when you perceive the density, we're going to use that skill many different ways during this summer camp this next month. So I hope you're going to join us. What happens is that we're going to go into freeing ourselves from soul contracts, and they're very dense. I'm never speaking up again because I rallied everybody to go war against the evil king, and everybody died. And so when I died, I decided I'm never using my voice again, or I'm never going to have money again. And now you're struggling with money because you lost everything, or were killed for your money, or whatever other soul contract or wound. So you make an agreement with yourself, and then it's embedded in you, and then it repeats in multiple lives, and it becomes stronger. And it's like a little microchip sending out a signal, and it's stronger and stronger. And it's part of what you are radiating out to create the reality you are living. So these hidden or subconscious or other timeline, other lives, past, present, future, So the future is full of a wave of potential, and it's completely up to who you're being, which timeline you're going to go down, and how you're going to feel going down it is going to change. So that's why if you go even one day out, 1 hour out, 1 week out to the retreat, but it's best to work from the back forward, because if you try to say, okay, well, what could I do tomorrow in order to manifest a retreat? Well, I can give you a list of that. Okay. For anything you want to manifest, the first thing you do is decide. And you listen to your heart, and you take away, I'm not going to think about money. I'm not going to think about, my mother. I'm not going to think about my job. I'm not going to think about my dog. I'm not going to think about any of the things that I perceive as a barrier to me being there. I'm just going to say, is this optimal for my soul? Once you get that connection and you get a yes, then you're going to go to, okay, I'm choosing this. If I have a desire for it, it's already happened. My soul's calling me. And that means that there are not one, but many ways, many paths to get me there. We see it in the future, and we see that it's unknown. You're going to change what you see. Okay. I want you to change what you see and see through that, and say, I'm ready to see through down the timeline, attune to the energies of the feelings of that timeline. It's radiating energy out like a cell phone signal, and you're radiating energy out, reaching towards it. And now the phone's going to ring. Okay. And you're going to be able to do this. Any of the density between there is either manifesting a solid, clear, the line fiber optic connection, right? Or it's manifesting a blocked one that's broken, or is full of black stuff, or is decayed, or whatever. Like there's a block in the line, and they're not connecting, and therefore there's density. That density is going to appear to you in different ways, and those are things you're going to learn in the intuition school. And if you've been there before, many people come back. You're going to take where you are and what you've learned to a whole new level. Of course, we're faster than ever before. The other thing about timelines is you can bend time. And I'm going to share ways that you can, I have 5 minutes to get somewhere. It takes me 25 minutes, and you can arrive on time, and you can arrive safely and in peace, having not killed anyone. And the other day, someone asked about time crunching or time wrinkling, and I'm going to teach you more about that. But the basic thing is right now, when you think from space-time, you're here, and this is where you want to go, over here. Okay. So this is space that takes you a certain amount of time to cross from here. And you would take step by step by step by step by step by step. Let's say it takes 20 minutes to walk there. Okay. Or you can be there now. All right. And you've wrinkled time, because this is how pliable it is. And it's a construct. So when you start to play with it, you can do all kinds of interesting things with it. Okay, so let's see if I can. I know somebody had shared, so I wanted to get to them. So Christine said, I think I want most to know how to guide my family and others back into a time of togetherness. Very nice. To shift it to a time when people were there for each other, that we have since forgotten how to do. I agree. So here's the thing for Christine and any of you with these beautiful dreams for yourself, for others, it has to be a dream for you. You're the one that is creating your reality. Now, you don't have to feel like you have to fix others or convince others to come to you or repair others. If they are a part of your future optimal vision like you have here, then they're there and they will be affected. However, you want to take all of your energy back, because to time shift and to choose futures is very deep magic, very deep manifesting work. And it's going to require you to unhook from beliefs and fears. And it's going to require you to unhook from the poor girl or the part of your mind that wants to tell you, oh, this is silly, it doesn't work, and all of that, right? So what you want to do is say, I am ready and willing and open and receptive to be in, to embody, and to begin to connect to having, the state of having, okay, this reality. And this reality is a time of togetherness when people are there for each other. Okay, so we're going to leave out people forgotten it. We need to shift. We need to guide. Okay, you don't need to guide anyone. You're going to be guided there by your higher self. You don't need to shift the time. I call it time shifting, but that's just so we understand it. It will happen once you call to this part of you and talk to this part of you and begin to meet with this part of you until you are sitting there having tea with this part of you, or sitting on top of that pyramid, or sitting on top of the tour and watching the sunset with us while we hold hands and sing and drum and who knows what other incredible magic's going to be happening. Okay, so those are a few tools to help give you a shortcut to your manifestation, because the language that we have has to be used. Words are power. Words create. Thoughts create things. Words are the manifesting power, the mana. All right. And the word is I am. And the I am is consciousness, often called in religion God, but there is no God outside of you. You are the container for God. So the infinite or source, okay? And because of that, you are the I am. The I am says I am, and then you're saying I'm consciousness. And the more you say I am, and you go into that peace and you lose yourself and you get outside your fears and you don't talk about everyone else's fears and you don't listen to all these newscasts about everybody else's drama, you need that energy for you. You bring that back into you. The more you can do that, the more energy you have to shift into your future timeline faster, to manifest what you want faster. And if you want to go to something like the retreat, which is starting in a couple weeks, in a couple months, I think we're about 2 months right now, a little bit past. We started on the 8th of October. So we're 2 months out. Totally can manifest it, totally can make it happen. Even if you don't know how, you can talk to me. We have many ways we're helping people to manifest this. And yet it requires for you to be more like, well, I'll think about it and then I'll do it. Like, let me get in. So whatever the timeline is, there's you there already. Why not go to the end result and say, tell me what it was like? What was the thing that you remember the most? How did you handle this? Do you have any advice? Could you guide me? I'm going to connect heart to heart to you and bring you every step of the way. So when I get up tomorrow, if I feel fear because I was going to go ask somebody, hey, would you lend me the money? Or would you like to buy a package that I'm selling, and pay for 6 months in advance so I could go do this thing now? Like, what are the things? Could you watch my dog for me? Or, who's out there? Or how long is this plane? Like, you do those practical things to start showing yourself in the universe and gathering information, because what happens then? Oh, I know the plane flights are this or this. It takes this long. It's going to cost that much. You've just turned a wave of potential, all the different potential ways you could fly, and you don't know what they are, but they're there on the internet if you want to look them up. Instead, when you look them up, they've now become particles and they're becoming dense. So the aspect of you understanding your senses and your languages that want to speak to you now in those multiple layers that they're speaking to you, the medicine that's coming into your soul, the medicine that's dealing with your fear, the medicine that's poking your voice to speak up again, whatever, they're all there. And so when you say, oh, okay, well, I probably would take that plane, and you start seeing that, you don't have to take a big deal and meditate for 10 days about seeing yourself buying a plane ticket. However, you're putting into particle form now. You're putting more density into the future you want. And now, what could you take away from the future you don't want? What if I don't manifest the retreat? What if I waste time and money? What if I'm embarrassed? What if this, okay? The amount of density in that potential timeline is heavy, and that means it's drawing you there. It's a magnet, and it's going to happen. So you want to now what? Break up the density. What is a way to do that? You could melt something, it would flow away. You could dissolve it. You could vacuum it. You could blow on it. You could have a fairy godmother sprinkle dust on it. You could, there's so many ways that you could ask, but you don't ask to like obliterate this. I'm against it. That is not what we're doing. We're accepting it is there, and we're so grateful that we saw it. And so all these different new ways we're going to perceive density, change density, increase your intuitive skills, open languages you've never heard before. And now you're going to be able to say, wow, I don't want that future. I'm not getting on the plane, or I'm not going through the next 6 months with that when I could have done this. I'm not going to sit here at home and wait till I feel comfortable to go ask or to go look up some information. Information is only going to free me and to make a decision, and then another decision, and then get another idea. And I have to unfold truth into that future till you're living there. You can wait as you learn this lesson and let the next one unfold. And that's a bit of universal truth, but it's also a bit of space-time manifesting. Next minute, linear, next minute. At the same time that you're doing that, you are allowing things to unfold, and you are in the present moment because you need to be there. That's what your conscious self is for. Now you're there. Wow. Okay. This is good. This is good. Now I'm here in the peaceful, powerful, purposeful, prosperous present moment with the grandmother dreamweavers and the time traveler. And I am so in love with this moment because what I've been practicing feeling when I'm sitting in the White Springs with the god and goddess altars around me, having my rebirthing experience, uh, is there for me now, will be there for me after I've experienced it in this life. I have already experienced it, right? So there's these different densities. How would it feel? And you can perceive it. And then it'll speak to you. And the more you open your languages, the more you will speak to that future you, or that you that actually said, well, I decided I'm not going to think I can't have what I want anymore. And no matter how much my poor girl programming was there, and I got up every day and walked away from it, and it wasn't easy, but you want that outcome. I got up every day. Oh my gosh, I had to conquer my fear again and conquer my fear again and transform it and do all these things. So what? If it's taking you to the future you want, or you can stay over here and say, oh, this is so hard. And I had to meditate 3 times today. And then my family made it so difficult. And then you're just complaining, which means you're rejecting and you're not accepting. And you're putting that density into that future. And then you have really no right to ask, why didn't I get what I wanted? Because you didn't want it. You were willing to lie to yourself. You were willing to keep feeding the density of what you don't want. And so the bottom line is, it's no longer about, oh, I'm tired, or I was abused, or I had this or that. Okay, yes, sometimes you got to take time off, you got to rest, you got to heal. And when it's something that you've been repeating this pattern or this fear for so long, it's time to just stand up and go, okay, I'm not playing around on the ground like a kindergartner anymore. I'm a warrior. I'm a goddess. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I am that future self. I am that past self. Let's all of us get together. Let's be, a trinity. Let's connect and create a portal. And I can skip over the unfolding and go to that end result and feel what it's like there. And then I come back and I think about that and I go to sleep feeling that. And then I go there again and I project there, and then I feel more about what it's going to be like. And then the density speaks to me, and then the languages open up, and then I'm speaking to multiple, it's 1313, perfect time to end, multiple parts of me. So what's happening with this is infinite. In fact, I definitely feel some kind of a course coming on around this, because I did not really grasp a lot of this that was coming through me, and a lot more that will come through in the next month as we go through the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp. So, okay, Christine, I hope that helps. So we've got, I would like to know how to mindfully navigate my divine path and destiny and ensure my family is together and whole. So again, I think this is Calvin. Hi, Calvin. So again, Calvin, here's the thing. It's really lovely, and I know it's true for our hearts, and I know that we've been programmed to not leave people behind, and to, not be too happy and too successful when our family or our partner or our kids or somebody aren't, and all of that stuff. You can't change anyone. You're only changing you. And it's not that you act callously towards them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying take them out of your vision and your destiny and put them there if they're optimal. But don't decide how you're going to navigate that path. You're going to navigate that path by being in it already. You're going to go there and you're going to have it. And you're going to start having a communication, but a relationship really with that future you. And you're going to keep beaming that out. This is what it's like to be there. And then you're going to come back into your body here and go cook dinner for your kids. And you're going to say, wow, you know what? I feel like this. I'm going to infuse the food with this feeling, and everybody's going to get this feeling, because if it's a peaceful, happy feeling, but if it's to control someone, like I want and I don't think anybody here would do this, but I'm going to use this as an example. I want my daughter to become a lawyer. This is a common thing that's happened in the past, and she doesn't want to be a lawyer. She wants to be a painter, but I want that future. So you decide that's the future you want, and you're doing it to control someone. However, you're also doing it just to your own future, because that person has a million different lifetimes that are unfolding too and have potentials too. So you want to experience a particular timeline or a particular result with your family in a certain feeling, then you see that, but you free yourself from doing anything towards them. Do it only in your own timeline. Okay. Do it here, because if you see yourself with your beloved, and this is someone you already know, or with your soulmate that you're looking to manifest, right? If you see yourself at a new job, And I've just had a mastermind member. It's hard to explain this in just a few words because we're doing prosperity magic manifest mastermind. We meet every week and we have a small group and everybody is going through deep healing and manifestation. And the bottom line is she wants more money, wants happy job, but loves what she does already, is very good at it, and so on. So she dove into the process and took this first leap where the fear of the money and manifesting the money, even though maybe other people didn't agree with it, she just decided, I have to do this, and listened to her spirit and did something to make that happen. And then she just showed up and did the things. And then she was like, well, of course, I really would like more money. And, but she didn't go, this is what my new job looks like. I'm going to apply for 50 different jobs. I updated my resume. What else can I do? She became it. She started to release the energy and manifest the feeling. Then what happened was she was sitting at her desk, I think a few weeks ago, and a client, I think she's a branch manager of a bank. So a client came through that she kind of knew. Hi, how are you doing? And he came over, he said, I just recommended you to some people who are looking for a new person with this position, and I think you're fantastic. And I told them all about you. Here's their number. And she went, wow, okay, thanks. And it was exactly the kind of thing she would likes and wants, and matched her perfectly. And it was effortless. She didn't go do anything except the inner work that we're doing. Remember, that's the 80-20 rule, kind of, a little more than that, 90, I think. And then that same day or that same week, someone else came that was a bank client, and they said, you know what, I think you'd be perfect for this job, and I've told them about you. And she was like, thank you. And then she just sat with it, and she went through, what do I feel about it? All those inner things. And then completely out of the blue, a company called her, brought her in for an interview, and offered her a position that was a bank manager, not a branch manager. It was a lot of money more a year and all these different things. And this was not something she had to suffer, work hard for, wish she had, craved on, sweat, and figured out the how. She did the becoming. Okay. And she then went through processes and just decided to take the job. And it's energetic alignment in between, but that's how effortless something can happen in a few months or a month's time or less, without you doing a lot of this. Oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because every time you say, oh, this is inspiration's coming through me, and then you try to get in the way of the how, because the how is already inside of the desire. All right. The problem and the solution are inside of each other. They're two sides of the same coin. Okay. So, let's see if I can. I think we're going to move on. Oh, hi, Serge. Hi, Diana and Christine. I want to just say hi to everybody. There's Marnie. There's Lisa Cat. I already said hi. And okay, good. Holy, holy, holy blessings to all of you. Oh, thank you for all the unconditional love and divine love and agape love. And oh, I just love that. Thank you, Serge. Wow. And my Heart Path Oracle card today, Ancestors, Strength, Love, and Support. Very nice. Very nice, right? Let's see. I know that Demas used to see himself driving back from the casino with a jackpot check in his pocket. There you go. Then it manifested exactly as he envisioned. That was one of his favorite stories of tapping. Yes, 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 yes. He's still a little bit here right now. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. And here's the thing, make sure that you've got to do that inner work around how do you feel about it? Are you afraid of it? Do you not feel worthy of it? Are you forcing it? Well, that energy goes into what you're doing. So there's ways I have to teach you. I have to take you through all these levels. Free yourself from the contracts. You're going to perceive the density there. Then we're going to go into freeing emotional trauma, seeing and sensing trauma in the different aspects of your life body, the density there, and what are ways we do that, talk to it, communicate with it, sense it, clear it, and all of that. Then we're going to use that to go to the next thing, which is actually seeing the timelines and choosing them and starting to play with that. Then we're going to go into manifesting with the sacred masculine and sacred feminine and balancing that out. And the divine feminine is going to open the portal to that really high level understanding that I'm not going to choose for you. So if you bring me a bunch of shit and then I manifest that shit for you, you have nobody to blame but yourself. The divine feminine, and then we're going to go into the balance. Okay. So I hope I will see you there. Oh, you're heading home from Santa Fe, heading to Santa Fe from Albuquerque. I lived there. I lived in Albuquerque for 6 years, in Corrales, actually. I manifested the perfect hotel. Oh, near your son. Oh, you've been called there. It's beautiful. Sorry about this. It's magical. It is. I keep wanting to do a retreat there in the land of enchantment, and yeah. So I thank you. Enjoy. Oh, it is a magical place for me. My daughter Jordan was born and died there, and I had to. It was the first place I went on my spiritual path after leaving LA and losing everything. So it's very, very nice. Yeah, I'm so excited, Lisa. You're going to be there tomorrow. So, okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Christine. Thank you for the wisdom. I love connecting and learning. I do too. Have a beautiful and blessed day, everybody. Make sure that the best thing to do for the school, for the other things that are on sale right now, even the retreat, is to go to the shop and they'll link you over to whatever you need. And of course, please reach out to us and share this. Please share this. And take a look at the emotional and trauma video we did the other day. It's quite profound, and I'm going to put it in the class as one of the pre-classes. So I would love to just take a moment. Let's breathe. We give great thanks for the sacred space, for coming together and all the energies, messages, and medicine that has been here with us. I am that I am, E.A. Escher, E.A. I am that I am, E.A. Escher, E.A. I accept, I allow, I release, I rise, and I receive, I receive, I receive, I receive. So ask and allow yourself right now in this sacred space together to let whatever energies are here for your optimal medicine to open your inner eye, to let you see the best path. What is it that your next step is optimal? Is it to come to the retreat or the school? Is it something else that you have in your life? Or is it just a state of being in the present moment, which is, of course, the first step? We ask that this circle now be open yet unbroken, and that this exist in the Akasha and go to all those who are ready to hear this and feel this. We ask that the door is open in the hearts and minds of those who are part of our soul bliss family. And as we open this path to higher states of love, light, creation, sovereignty, we balance the sacred masculine and the feminine, and thank you from above to below, from within and without, from the future to the past. I am now here in the present. And so it is, and so it is. And see yourself walking into your day, coming out of this infinity, spiraling back into a timeline, back into 3D. But notice this is not the timeline you were in when you left, when you first came on the call. It never is, not with my work. And now you can feel your feet as you stand up and walk into your day. Notice that what is in front of you is unfolding and reacting to the energy you're carrying. And the longer you hold on to whatever you've been gifted today, stay in touch with that energy, feel it and sense it radiating from you, amplify it. I'm so grateful I already have what? I'm so grateful I already feel what? I am so filled with harmony, peace, love, prosperity, acceptance, willingness, trust, inspiration. And I open and maintain a clear connection to those future selves that are most optimal for me in this moment. I give and ask to receive love, guidance, power, respect, and freedom for all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, very nice. There's a whole lot of goodies there. I can't wait to play tomorrow. I will see you then. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.